I thought that it was going to be on camera in your place.
Well, that was the plan. That's what I normally do, is invite people over to my hotel, because in central London it's really convenient for people. But obviously, you're a man on the road. I'll come to you. We have snacks. Do you want a cookie, or do you want whatever that thing is?
That's very kind. I think I'll wait until after.
That is a great idea.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to This Album with me, William Han. It's the podcast where each episode, a guest and I are going to deep dive an album of their choice. It could be any artist, any genre, any year. And we are going to discuss the songs, the shows, the artwork. But what I really want to know is where my guests first heard the album and the emotional attachment they have to the record. Who knows, we might even have a bit of a laugh while doing it. Well, today, I'm joined by someone who is far, far cooler than you or I, dear listener. Today's guest is so cool, in fact, that when he recently fell over on stage, rather than delete his entire social media presence, split up the band and moved to a mountain cabin, he leaned in and asked fans for the footage. It's pretty cool. He's one of the great Stratocaster players of his generation and is more than capable of bringing psychedelic psychosis, jangly sparkle, or a glam rock stomper of a riff. His band is now a decade into their career, and I join him hot on the promo trail of their fourth and possibly best album to date, Mortal Primetime. Do you really want to come for me? Do ya? From New York City, Sunflower Bean, it's Nick Kivlen. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello,
brother.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Happy with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Did I come in a bit too hot?
No, it's great.
Just right. Bless you. Very kind, Nick. Thank you.
I got all the Easter eggs, but I should because, I lived them.
You've lived them. It's all you, baby. Did I pronounce your surname right, by the way?
Sorry?
Did I pronounce your surname right?
Basically, it's Kivlen, but Kivlen's cool too.
You're taking both?
Yeah, why not? It's a made-up name. It's actually...
All names are made up, really, Nick.
It's Irish, but was changed at Ellis Island, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get through the border.
Yeah.
No more questions from me, Nick. How are you, man?
I'm great, thanks. Just pulled up to Rough Trade. We're going to be playing here tonight for our album release, and happy to be in the UK.
I bet. Well, Congratulations, man. It's I've really enjoyed following your career. I was quite an early adopter of Sunflower Bean.
Cool.
And, I think it's the best album to date, Nick. So
thank you very much.
Thanks for letting me in on the campaign trail for you guys.
Yeah, no, thank you.
How's the reception been for you so far?
It's been great. Honestly, the reviews and the reception has been better than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any expectations. You can never have expectations when you release music. But it's been just incredible, honestly. I'm super happy that everyone seems to really like it because you never know.
Well, I'm one of them. I've given it 3.5 listens so far, and I've listened to it in 3 very different situations, Nick.
Cool.
I've done it while running.
Cool.
I've done it while walking, and I've done it while driving.
What do you like best?
Great question. It's a driving album, Nick. It's definitely a driving album.
I think I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think more so than your previous work. This works really well in the car. So it's quite a different sound for you guys. What was you sort of reaching for this?
We wanted to do something live and organic and embrace our history as a band by literally playing together and capturing the chemistry that we have, just the 3 of us naturally in the room. So we recorded it in about 2 weeks at a studio in Van Nuys, California.
Wow. Well done.
And we had demoed it out, so we knew exactly how we wanted it to sound, and we just went in and executed it and had fun, really, and made sure that everything just felt really live and organic and as normal as possible, too, in a way.
Well, mission accomplished, brother.
Thank you.
There's some real stratospheric moments on this. I think you may have had the best guitar solo of the year, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
Track 3, I forget what it's called now. Sorry, some notes. What's it called? Track 3 called?
Waiting for the Rain.
Holy moly. You absolutely
you.
Smashed it there, brother. Save some notes for the rest of us,
Thank you.
please.
I mean, not that many people are doing guitar solos, so we have to keep it alive.
Enter stage left, Sunflower Bean. So you've been coming to the UK for a while now. What do you like about the place? What keeps you coming back? Yeah.
I like the people. I feel like it's fun to go, and each city is like more similar than in America or Europe. Like the look and like the culture is like more similar, even though you're traveling and meeting.
We've got the same shops on every high street, brother.
But the people really make it special. Everyone's super friendly and funny. Yeah. And I love the banter.
Yeah, we got plenty of that.
Yeah.
What's your favourite sort of English slang term you've picked up over the last decade of coming here, Nick? I've got you on the spot now. I'm sorry, brother.
No, it's totally cool. I mean, our tour manager, Gareth, is like hilarious and he's full of funny expressions.
Sure.
And half the time we're hanging out, we're just like comparing like the different expressions that we have, and a lot of his are very what's the word, like special to him and his friend group. Yes. So they're not, so we'll be like, oh, like do all British people say that? And he'll be like,
oh no, just me and Steve.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. I noticed the Kivlen Club bag behind you.
Yeah.
Been there before? Or was that the first time yesterday?
It was the second time, but it was the first time we went at night. So we got to catch, a cover band playing a bunch of like British invasion music.
Great. How'd you get on with that? Good night?
I loved it. I mean, that's like kind of all three of us, like that's like our origin music, like The Who, The Kinks, The Beatles, The Stones.
The big uns.
Yeah.
You're not messing about, are you?
No.
So what do you reckon, a decade into the band now, what's next for you guys?
Well, we're going to tour this record until the end of the year, and then hopefully we'll make another one sooner.
You may be one of the hardest working bands in the biz, Nick, honestly. Like, you've not really stopped in a decade. 4 albums, lots of very strong EPs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you find the energy, man?
I think the three of us are just, driven and like doing it, and we've been so lucky that it is the main thing that we've been doing for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And honestly, I beat myself up that it's not more, because I was like, oh my God, we only did 4 albums. Like, what the hell? Like, we should be doing at least one a year, right?
Well, I look forward to that next year, Nick. We'll see you back here at Rough Trade East, same time next year. So, when I got in touch with you, you were pretty adamant about the album you were going to pick. You let me know fairly quickly.
Uh-huh.
I got to say, I was a little surprised, Nick.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, knowing your band and what you do and how sort of, is bombastic too strong a word? I don't know. But you're very like an extroverted looking and sounding band.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Elliott Smith. Why don't you tell us which album we're discussing today then, Nick?
It's funny you say bombastic, because I feel like I picked the most bombastic Elliott album.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Which is his 4th and final, Figure 8.
Thank you, Nick. So today we are deep diving Figure 8, the 5th studio album.
5th. I said 4th.
Is it the 5th or 4th?
I think it's the 5th.
I'm going to say both and edit it. Here we go.
Okay.
The 4th, the 5th studio album by Elliott Smith. Released on the 18th of April 2000, Figure 8 was the last album Smith completed before his untimely death in 2003. It marked a notable shift in his sound, featuring more elaborate production, layered instruments and orchestral arrangements, while still maintaining the heart and introspective songwriting he was known and loved for. The album was recorded at Sunset Sound and Abbey Road Studios and was produced by Smith along with Robert Schnapf and Tom Rothrock. Rothrock? He was bound to do his job, wasn't he? Despite its critical acclaim, it had minimal impact on the charts upon release. Hit 37 in the UK and 99 in the US Billboard 100. So Nick, you're a man in the thick of the album promotion. How important were chart positions to you growing up? And how important are they now you're on the other side of it?
Absolutely 0. It was never something I was ever aware of. Our second record charted in the UK at 39.
Well done.
So, and I think that the most current one was just number 10 on the indie one.
Well done, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bragging now, but it's nice to know that an album like Figure 8 could only hit 37. It's like, should be number 1, but who's to say?
So let's start at the beginning here. When did Elliott Smith enter your world?
Elliott entered my world when I met Julia and we started the band together, because he is her favorite artist of all time. And I've been a big fan for the past, 11 or 12 years. But something happened to me around August of last year where all of a sudden the only artist I could listen to was Elliott. For like 6 months, I just listened to all his albums and played out a couple songs just like hundreds of times. And it was honestly like a spell was cast on me. And I was really familiar with a lot of the material, but he also has, it's so dense and there's so much to it that when you really dive in, it's like you really start seeing just how complex and dense the records are.
There's definitely a lot of that on this one.
Yes, it's a hard homework assignment for someone doing a podcast.
No, thank you very much. No, I appreciate like you appreciating my hard work. I should probably add at this point as well, it was one of the artists I just never listened to. I was aware of his work, but never got round to diving in. And about a week before I found out which album you wanted to discuss, there was a video on my Instagram feed that's got a bit viral of him performing on a breakfast morning show in America.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
Of course, yeah.
Unbelievable. Performing Tangerine.
Clementine,
sorry.
That's fine.
Performing Clementine. Holy shit. It is unbelievable. Just melt this, I don't know, quite condescending host and just completely, I don't know. It's unbelievable. I'll have to put a link to it in this. But then to have that moment of discovering that, to then you throwing all this hard work my way, it was quite the moment. Did you start at the beginning of his back catalogue, or did you start here and work backwards?
The first album I ever had by Elliott was on an iPod that a friend downloaded his music collection onto my iPod. So it was like his library, but synced to mine.
That's all it took back then, right?
This was after people had stopped using iPods. This was like around like 2014.
Cool.
And
I had to say, it's very comforting to hear it's about 2014. You guys look like you were born with Velvet Underground records under your arm. So I appreciate you came to this in 2014. It makes me very happy, Luke. Thank you.
The first one I listened to was Either Or, which is by far his most popular. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of in between the first two and the XO and Figure Eight. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds in a way. And Figure Eight is my favorite after like really diving in.
But it's the most different to his other albums, I think. So what made you gravitate more towards this one?
I think it's a good question. It's more abstract and it rocks more.
Yeah.
And it's probably, I think it's the closest like anyone's ever come to like doing a Sgt. Pepper's or Revolver-esque record. And it was recorded at Abbey Road. And it's like one of my favorite tidbits is that the piano that was used on the album is the piano from Abbey Road, like the record, like it was used on the Paul song, Penny Lane. It's the same piano.
That's
and
wild.
I just think that lineage is really cool.
Well, there's definitely a lot of Beatles in this. In fact, I didn't realise it was actually the Abbey Road connection here, because there's so much Abbey Road on this in certain parts of the song.
Yes.
You can really hear the influence. I think like, is it Colour Bars, isn't it? Track 11. There's like a really McCartney.
That one's very McCartney.
Yeah.
Acoustic.
And I don't think there was much of that sort of Beatles influence in his earlier work, was there? And some of the real big guitar parts are really George Harrison throughout this as well.
Totally. Well, that's the funny thing is that Elliott is like really referenced a lot in culture and like especially by like music nerds as being like this depressing, sad, like really quiet. And I think a lot of people take away the wrong thing from Elliott's music. And I think a lot of...
What is that?
That he was depressed and whispery and whiny. And I think that that is kind of like a disservice, and it's an element for sure of his music.
Yeah.
Is that it's whiny and kind of pared down, but the chord progressions and the writing and the melodies are so beautiful and so complex. And especially on this one, I feel like this is like a sunny record to me. Like I feel like life affirmed when I listen to it. I don't feel depressed at all when I listen to Figure Eight.
That's very nice to hear. I love that.
Yeah.
Great. So you tell me, it seems weird to me that Elliott never entered my orbit. I'm a noughties indie guy, you know, guilty as charged.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit before my time, but who were his contemporaries?
That's kind of interesting because he is not connected to really a particular city. He was born in Ohio, grew up in Texas, and then kind of started gaining traction in Portland. And that's where he first had like his first band and music scene kind of thing. But then he moved to New York for a year, and that's where he wrote XO, and then he moved to LA. So
it's very LA, this record in places, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I'm not sure that he really had any contemporaries because there wasn't really anyone doing what he was doing at the time. Especially, I just watched this documentary, and they were talking about how like a singer-songwriter like going by their own name is like such a like it's a very common thing in like the 70s, and then it kind of was dropped by like the 80s, and then in the mid 90s nobody cool, especially not in like alternative music scenes, was like doing that, just going by their own name and playing an acoustic guitar. I feel like the closest contemporary, like for me in terms of like the music and the time period, is Neutral Milk Hotel.
Another band I've not listened to yet, Nick. So you're giving me a lot of good homework
yeah,
here.
they're
So
great
thank
too.
you.
There's
I
a lot
appreciate
less
this.
music with them. I think there's only 2 records.
I'll take it. I'm listening to that on the way home. Thank you very much. And obviously you mentioned how this album, well, we both mentioned it's a bit more LA, this album, than his previous work. You're a man that spends a lot of time on the tour bus, a lot of opportunities to listen to music, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Paint a picture. What do you think is the perfect setting to listen to the Figure 8 on?
I think that this is a driving record as well. I
Yeah.
think if you're driving around like California or the West Coast, like it's a good one for that.
Absolutely. I think we'll have to agree with that one. How important has like the imagery and fashion of Elliott been for you? You're a pretty fashionable band, if I don't say so myself, Nick.
Thank you. I feel like with Elliott, you know, he's got like a really cool understated look, and it's not that important, honestly, with him. Like that's not really, you know, he's a pretty stripped down dude, and he did have cool hair in that Clementine video. I feel like it's
purple hair, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
I think
really
it's
cool.
kind of cool when people have like normal haircuts, but they're just dyed extreme colors.
Absolutely.
But yeah, with Figure 8, I think the album cover is really awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Pretty iconic album cover,
I think
isn't
the
it?
album cover for EXO, the one before it, is really bad. It's kind of like a gray, like purplish, like collage photo.
The self-titled one's great with the guy jumping over the roof.
Yeah.
But this,
Jumping
this is the one
off
I think.
the roof.
You're jumping off the roof, yeah. Bloody hell. No wonder he attracted a certain
I'm
audience.
saying that Elliott's misunderstood as being too depressing, and you're like, yeah, the album, his self-titled one with the suicide on
jumping
it.
off the roof, yeah. But no, apparently, have you been to the actual mural? It's still there, isn't it? Apparently, the album cover in LA.
You know, it's a funny story. It's not there anymore.
Is it not?
And
Wikipedia has lied to me for the 1,000th time.
No, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, recently it was taken down, and the artist, I'm forgetting his name, he shot the early music videos for Elliott's Coming Up Roses, and then I think he did another one. He has been doing this art project where he goes to the mural and he wheat posts a photo of Elliott onto the wall.
Right.
And then he takes a photo of it. And then every time it gets covered over, he goes and he does it again. And then eventually it was like kind of like all these like, it was like a time lapse of like more and more this photo he took of Elliott, like on the wall where the mural was, because people were upset when they took it down.
Sure. It's a bit of culture being removed there, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that artist had a gallery show that Julie and I went to actually last year in LA. It was cool. He was there and we bought a print from him. He was really nice.
Nice. And you're in LA now, right?
Yeah.
How are you getting on there? Apart from the obvious issues earlier in the year, but
it's great. I love it. I've always loved it, and I've never lived anywhere besides Long Island and New York. So after 10 years in Brooklyn, like LA is pretty amazing.
love to hear that, man. So I think a lot of people, for perfect example, me, I didn't know much about Elliott. What's your 60-second elevator pitch to someone that doesn't know much about him?
You can just, I mean, it's hard. He's just like, he's someone who, I think that the fandom around him is really intense, and there aren't a lot of like casual fans of him. It's either people are like completely obsessed or people just don't get it at all. So I would say just see if you like it, and if you don't, that's totally cool too, because it is like, I feel like an either extreme thing.
It's an
like
all or nothing.
Yeah, I feel like it is. I was in the rare in between for a long time. I was a pretty big fan, but I wasn't like raving mad. I always just really respected and loved certain songs.
Sure.
Until I took the time to dive in.
So time well spent diving in then.
Yeah.
There's a big payoff.
Yeah.
You ever cried listening to this album, Nick?
No, I haven't.
Are you a crier?
Not much. Usually it's more like movies or documentaries for me, or just like the news, but
yeah, that'll do
not as much with music.
Do you still enjoy the live music experience? Doing what you do for so long, can you watch a band without the clinical eye being over it?
No, definitely. I still enjoy it all the time, and I feel like a big like comfort thing to do is just like go and see like a DIY band
Sure.
and just like hang out.
Love that. Caught anyone good lately?
Not really, since I've been like on tour, and then I was at my parents' for a while in New York, and I haven't been to a show in probably like 6 weeks or something.
Okay. We'll work on that. So I'm going to ask you a very big question now, actually. I'm really sorry about this, Nick.
Okay.
What's the worst bit of the album?
The worst
The
bit?
worst bit. We'll ask the opposite question shortly.
I think that it's pretty long, and I think it's front loaded. I think a lot of my favorite songs on it are at the front. So then by the time you get to the end, those tracks end up becoming your favorite, but they're definitely a little bit
of a slog getting there.
There's one song that I think could have been cut. Like, who am I to edit, figure eight?
Edit an artist.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say the worst part, if there is going to be a worst part, I think Can't Make a Sound or Better Be Quiet Now, like the last two before the musical outro, like maybe those could have just been.
I think that could have been a B-side, maybe. I put Better Be Quiet Now, a sweet acoustic number. And I think he's done plenty of them.
Yeah.
Plenty one more.
Yeah, he's written, I think, in my opinion, he's written some of the greatest acoustic ballads of all time.
Because I'm not an acoustic guy, really. When I see someone get an acoustic guitar out on their own, I normally sort of go, oh, fucking hell.
That's the thing. That's the thing about it.
Exactly.
Is that, like, when you think, like, oh, sad singer-songwriter
Here
on
we
an
go,
acoustic
yeah.
guitar, you're like, ugh, I can't. But like this, like he makes it worthwhile.
Exactly. I underestimated this guy.
I honestly, yeah, I think he's one of my favorite guitarists of all time. And if you ever actually try to learn to play one of his songs, you'll be like, holy shit. Like,
let me tell you, I'm not going to. I'm an adequate guitarist, and I like the outros. The last couple of chords and notes that he plays at every song is extraordinary. He's got these great little fiddly bits at the end, which are just gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that he's like a classical composer in a lot of ways, where within the simple parts, there is so much movement and so much counterpoint and so much musical theory. And honestly, I listen to this album that's just like piano renditions of his music because I think it's like that good. It's like, when you reduce it to that, it sounds like, a like romantic era, like composer or something.
Sure. So has listening to Elliott made you raise the bar a little bit on your own guitar playing, Nick?
By learning his music, definitely, because it's very unconventional in the way the chords and the rhythms and the way he picks. And there's actually one technique that he does that I had never encountered before.
Tell me more. What's this?
It's tremolo picking, where you do the root notes with your thumb and then you use your two index fingers to tremolo the open strings.
Wow.
So it sounds like there's two guitars playing.
Without the
but it's
whammy bar,
just
you mean?
one. Yeah, with no whammy.
Wow.
You just use your two fingers really fast to go like. It's
I'm never learning his songs. I'm not doing it, Nick. I'm just not there, brother.
The song I'm thinking of is Tomorrow, if people want to check it out. It's like a very intense guitar technique that's usually only used in classical.
I will check that out. Wow. Okay. So, as mentioned, this is a big sort of gear change from his other albums, I think. He was definitely pushing himself artistically here, isn't he?
Yeah.
So let's talk about some more positive bits. What's the best bit of the album, Nick?
My favorite part about this record is, well, it sounds phenomenal. The
production's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's a straightforward rock record, but the way they do it is so interesting, and the tones and the lushness of the production is amazing. And it really, really complements the way the lyrics and the melodies and the chords create like this sort of dreamlike. I would say that this album's like an emotional dream inducing record. Like every song to me just feels like you're having this crazy dream where you don't know where it's going to go. Yeah. And then the way that the music correlates with the motion of like the chord progressions, mostly it's like you're constantly having the rug pulled out from under you.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think particularly the last song on the album, Bye, which isn't a banger, it's not a radio hit, but it absolutely serves that function, like you say, of making it sound really dreamy, and it sounds like the piano is like underwater, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of interesting, like especially like the first 5 or 6 tracks are very dreamlike without having a ton of stuff that we usually associate with like dreaming, where it's not like super delayed out or super reverby.
That's the easy way, right?
Yeah, it's kind of dreamlike in a way where you feel like you're seeing someone have this like vision that isn't really a nightmare, but it's not a good dream either. And you don't really, it's complex. And I think that his music is really emotionally complex, and the feelings are complicated, and it retains that within the melodies.
And what do you feel when you hear it?
I feel like a sort of like intrigue, where I want to understand, and I feel like I interpret it a lot. It's kind of like interpreting a dream listening to this record. Like one of my favorite Elliott songs is "Everything Means Nothing to Me." I don't know if you zoomed in on that one, but
it's very tender, intimate, but felt quite familiar as well at the same time. There's great double-tracked vocals on it, I put as well.
Yes, yeah.
Because he's, for someone that's got a very understated singing style, he's a great vocalist as well, right?
Yeah, he sounds 100,000% unique.
Yeah.
And even if he's not the most conventional singer, like his voice just, for me, it sounds very comforting.
Yeah. And he harmonizes with himself and the double-track vocals. They sound phenomenal. He's obviously got ability there.
Yeah.
In a very untraditional way.
Yeah, I mean, he has a very unique singing voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think I was going to say like Everything Means Nothing to Me. Like when I listen to that song, I feel like you can put so much of your own interpretation onto those lyrics. And I like to think of it almost like a ghost story. Like he's kind of like describing opening up a newspaper and seeing a photo of someone that he recognizes that might be himself, almost like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And then it's like sort of this thing about how this person was in the time where they were meant to be and everyone celebrated them, and now they're just a statue.
Oh, you're creating your world in this, Nick. I love it.
Bird sitting on the statue, and the bird is singing "Everything Means Nothing to Me." And then when those drums kick in, they have like that crazy cool like slapback on them. And I'm pretty sure that's him playing drums too. He played drums on a lot of the songs.
What can't this boy do? He's a talented guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's one of a kind. I think he's one of the great songwriters of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I put it's a dreamy piano number. He sounds like he's definitely pushing himself on this song.
Yeah.
Exploring new worlds, but the drums are just bananas on it. And it's a song that can only be made in the studio. It's not a live song.
Absolutely.
It's not one knocked about in rehearsal. That's someone that's given a bit of budget, bit of time at Abbey Road, and he's got really creative.
Yeah, he made good on the Abbey Road.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like when we were younger, we'd always be like, oh, we want to make a record like Sgt. Pepper's. Like, we want to make like our masterpiece record.
Sure.
And Elliott went into Abbey Road and actually pulled it off, which is kind of funny.
Absolutely. But yeah, at the end of it just feels like things are like collapsing in on themselves in that song. That is a pretty impressive number.
I also, Son of Sam, the opening one is awesome too.
Absolutely. I think the thing for me is the full band songs are the ones that I'm getting the most enjoyment out of, and that's definitely one of them. Again, very Beatlesy song, lovely plinky plonky piano on this.
Yeah.
There's a song on your new album I wanted to ask you about, actually.
Let's do it.
Very piano-led, very little guitar on it, and violin on it.
Yes.
So I'm assuming, is this an Elliott Smith inspired move here, or are there...
Definitely. Well, my Elliott obsession happened after the record was done.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I feel like maybe I was definitely inspired by a lot of artists that shaped him when we were making this record. Big Star, The Kinks, The Left Bank, Nick Drake. And we've always like dabbled in ballads, and we've always dabbled in like sort of this other like side of production. And it was pretty simple, honestly. We just had our friend Roger, who's a really, really prolific keyboardist and piano player, come to the studio and work with us on a couple tracks. And then Emily was the viola player who came in and did the string arrangements. And it wasn't written out or anything. She just like improvised a couple takes, and she's amazing. Knocked it out. Yeah.
Great. Well, look, we've covered a lot of ground here, Nick. Is there anything we've not covered yet that you'd like to go into? Any particular songs you want to tap into a bit more, maybe?
I mean, there's so many I love on here, but I don't want to go on too much. But
you're doing great. Don't worry.
Everything reminds me of her is one of the like really slow acoustic songs, And the fact that he can get away with those lyrics.
Which ones? What's standing out to you there?
It's just like, if you're ask me why I'm staring into outer space crying. And the way he says crying is so cringy. But I'm just like totally, it's you can't deny it that it's effective and it works and it's amazing. And then the second verse, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's like this like surrealist like picture where he's like describing the way sunlight hits a steeple. And I really love that one.
I think that's dangerous territory. I think sunlight in songs is normally a bit iffy. It sounds like he's done a good job there.
Yeah.
Well done, Elliott. But another one that I really like is LA, which is the more obvious ones. They just sound like more of a radio hit than his more sort of stripped back numbers. It sounds like it would work on an episode of Scrubs.
Yeah, that one's awesome. I feel like that song almost sounds like Led Zeppelin.
Well, I put the guitar style, it sounds a lot like you.
Yeah, thank you.
I could hear a lot of you in that, definitely.
I feel like there's a lot of Led Zeppelin in our band as well. Like more like mid-70s Zeppelin, like House of the Holy and Physical Graffiti. Yeah. And Big Star too. And I feel like Big Star, especially on their second record, was emulating Led Zeppelin a lot. And it's kind of funny to say like, oh yeah, an Elliott Smith song sounds like Led Zeppelin, but there are some like pretty rockin' moments on this album.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Nick, this has been a right laugh. Very grateful for your time today. I've really enjoyed having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Normally, I do a little bit of a quiz on these.
Okay, I listened to a couple episodes.
I appreciate it. It's very sweet of you. But I thought what we do instead is talk Smiths.
Oh, Smiths.
Smiths, brackets, general. Thoughts and feelings on a few different Smiths. Will Smith, I'm thinking of.
Will Smith, an actor I'm not super familiar with. I've seen Independence Day. I've never seen Men in Black. I saw The Fresh Prince a little bit when I was growing up. There was like reruns of it, but I don't have that much of a relationship. Oh, I loved I Am Legend when I was a kid.
Big film.
That was a cool movie. I think I was in elementary school when that came out. I remember he got to live in one of those row houses across from Washington Square Park. It's a New York thing. It's like it'd be like a dream place to live. Yeah, no, sorry.
Let's talk about other Smiths. I'm thinking Mara Morrissey.
Oh yeah.
Are you a Smiths guy?
They're a huge influence on me. I think definitely.
I can hear particularly a song of yours, Easier Said.
Yes.
There's a lot of Smiths in that, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, there's another Smith in it, Zachary Cole Smith.
From Diiv.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pro Zachary Cole Smith.
Yeah, shout out to Zach.
Shout out to Zach.
Shout out to Cole.
Shout out to Cole as he's known, yeah, absolutely. You played with them guys before?
Yeah, they took us on our first tour.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Nice. States or here?
The States.
Wild.
Yeah.
Did you behave yourselves?
Yes.
Well, look, this has been great. Anything you want to share the listeners? The floor is yours, Nick.
No. Have fun, and if you're going to check out the record, enjoy.
I think that's a very good place to leave
Both
it.
records, our records and Elliott's. I need to
I think that's a
promo
really
my
good
own.
Shout. But look, I think we're reaching a crisis point here. I should probably point out we are in the back of the tour bus right now.
Yeah, it's getting kind of
hot. A bit kind of hot. So I think this is a great opportunity to get out before the Mac sets itself on fire and melts.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I get fined for destroying your bus. But Nick, thank you very much. I've been William Hann. Here's been Nick Kivlen from Sunflower Bean. Here's been Elliott Smith. And this has been This Album.
Cool.
Thank you very much, brother.
No, thank you.
Oh, I had more Smith-based notes, and I realised I can't find them anywhere. So,
on different Smiths.
Yeah, it hit a bit of a banter cul-de-sac there, Nick. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
All the prep in the world.
I didn't notice at all. I was like Will Smith.